Now that we know a little bit about the Tavor, hopefully you've seen the previous video, we'll go ahead and take a look at the 9mm conversion and how that's accomplished. Here's your Tavor kit as it comes from the factory. You have the barrel in the center, you have the bolt and carrier and recoil mechanism. Your wrench will be in the recess here. Your magazine well adapter is on the side, and the bolt buffer, or excuse me, the cartridge case buffer will be there at the bottom, along with the magazine in the large recess here. Now, checking the rifle to make sure the lock mechanism is in the open position. We take our 9mm Tavor barrel and we drop it into the stock and slide it carefully into place. Okay, with the 9mm barrel in place, you'll note that the lock is still in the unlocked position. So let's take a look on the other side and you'll see the lock plate and how the key is in its unlocked position. And when it's turned back into its place, you see the recess here at the bottom of the recess, the little slot. That is where that locking plate key falls in. So we'll go ahead, barrel's pressed into place, and we'll lock it into position. Wait for the click, which will be the key popping, the locking plate popping into its recess. And we turn it over and take a look, and you can see it's all set, locked, and flat in place. Now we'll take our cocking group, and this is the cocking bar. The cocking lever is up here. This lever here has to be you make sure that it goes behind the cocking lever base on the barrel. That's the bracket that's right here. That's the cocking lever base, because that's what you're pulling against when you pull the operating lever. Now we'll install our cocking group. Cocking bar goes in through the dust protection plate. Behind the cocking lever base. Then you open the body walls. Make sure it's installed properly. Now we're ready for the next step. Okay, now we'll install the swivel sleeve. Easiest way to install it is to use the sling swivel, so that's what we're going to do here. Here's the swivel lock sleeve, and you'll note the lugs that are inside the sleeve fit the notches that are in the lug on top of the barrel. So we line it up, use the sling swivel to move the swivel sleeve around a little bit. It's in its recess. Remove the sling swivel. Now we'll install our swivel sleeve lock screw in place. It has two flats. They engage the notches in the swivel sleeve itself. Keeps the screw from turning while you're installing the swivel sleeve lock on the other side. So we slide it in its position. We'll use that tool to hold the head in its recess. We'll pick up the rifle and then we'll install the swivel sleeve lock. Tighten it until it will not go anymore by hand. Don't use a tool on it. And then back it off just enough to bring that slot vertical to line up the hole that's in the swivel lock screw. So we slide the pin in place and guide it through the hole in the retaining screw, and then we're all set. Next, the top rail goes into its place. It has an anchor here at the front. It slides right into the notches here and then down and is bolted in place, just like this. In and down. Slides right into its notch. And we'll install our top rail. It's fastened in place by the two rail connecting screws. You see the anchors here. Slide it in at the front. Swivel it down. There you see the screws on top of the anchors. There we have our installed rail. Now installing the foregrip group, Have to make sure that the stud here at the base hooks into the rifle here. So we put it into place there, line it up, and it goes straight up and into its position. Then we're going to reinstall the foregrip screws. They belong on the anchor holes here, and on the other side, the same location. And there you have it. Then we'll change our case deflector from the 5.56 to the 9mm version. You can see it's held on by one screw. We'll remove the screw. Ejection port opening has a frame around it. That frame has to be removed for the 9mm buffer to fit in place. There's a gap at the back. You push the bottom up, the top down, and then hold the two together while you pull them out and directly to the rear. Then the 9mm buffer will sit right in place. Same screw will be used to fasten it. Next we'll put in our magazine well adapter. This is the adapter. Slides right into the mag well from the below. Press the magazine release. It's in place. And we'll install our retaining pins. A 3mm punch will allow us to complete the installation. Pins will need to be just below flush when we're done. And there you are, installed and below flush. Now with the magwell adapter installed, we'll do our magazine function check to make sure everything works the way it's supposed to. Slide in our magazine, it's locked in place. Magazine release, magazine comes out. Put it back in, it's locked in place, and we're good to go. Now we'll prepare to install our 9mm recoil assembly and the bolt and bolt carrier. Do not confuse the 5.56 with the 9mm bolt and bolt carrier. Here they are, two of them together. This is the 9mm. The bolt face is flush with the bolt carrier here. The 5.56 has the extended bolt head and locking lugs. Should be easy to tell apart. 5.56 has the extended bolt head and locking lugs. 9mm face is flush with the carrier face. Now we'll go ahead and install our 9mm recoil mechanism and the bolt and bolt carrier. Move the butt pin. Then we'll install the 9mm recoil mechanism. Press the butt plate into place, and then the butt pin goes in also, and we're ready to proceed. Then we'll install the sear assembly here. Drive out the two retaining pins. Drop the bolt stop lever, and the sear assembly will slide in right behind it. Pin it. Three pins, and there we are. We now have a Tavor converted to 9mm. We'll do our operational checks. We take our safety off, rack the action, make sure that the hammer falls when it's supposed to. When you pull the trigger, keep the trigger pulled back, rack the action again. Now release the trigger, listen for the safety sear, pull the trigger again, make sure it goes off when it's supposed to, and it does. We're in good shape and ready to go to the range. So now your Tavor is converted to 9mm and you're ready to take it to the range and enjoy a day's shooting. If you need any help with additional details, information, parts, new rifles, Tavors, conversion kits, don't hesitate to contact us. Our website is ratworxusa.com, ratworxusa.com, and the telephone number is 815-734-7346. Thank you for watching.